Shabbat Shalom Yasharala. Shalom. All praise to the Most High God, so much Yahusha, for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's right? Who are we, the Hebrew Israelites, the Most High's chosen people. We are here in this holy convocation, this Sabbath day. A covenant the Most High made with Israel through our generations. We are the light of Zion, located on 2937 West Broad Boulevard. I am Elder Bishop Lapalal. To my left is
Officer Aliyah.
And we're going to continue where we left off a couple weeks ago in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 4.
Can we bring out Colossians?
Yeah, before you got it. Yeah, before you know.
From down.
Bobby?
Want to use this mic for a second? Shalom. Okay, after minor technical difficulties, a battery going dead. Okay, we're back. We're going to let's start from 1 Colossians 3, verse 17. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Right, whatever you do in word or deed, make sure everything you do is in accordance to the scriptures, the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and the testimonies of the Mashiach Yahushua. Okay? We're going to go continue in 1 Kings chapter 4. Read on. 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 1.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 4 and verse 1. So King Solomon was king over all Israel, and these were the princes which he had: Azariah, the son of Zadok, the priest.
Right, so Solomon, before Solomon was king, his father David was king over all Israel. And before David became king, he went through a lot of tribulation and a warfare. I mean, altercations with men who were loyal to Saul, men who were loyal to the Philistines. And David ruled over all Israel for 40 years. Then he grew old and died. And in his old age, there were various altercations as to who was going to succeed David. Various sons of his, Absalom, other sons of his tried to usurp authority, but that didn't come to any conclusion. It was Solomon who the Most High deemed to be the successor to David. And now Solomon was the king of all the 12 tribes of Israel. Read.
Verse 3. Elahoreph and Ahiah, the sons of Shisha, scribes, Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder.
Right, so these are various men who were in so-called administration, in Solomon's administration, as we know it today. You could compare to the president. I mean, they have men in the cabinet, and I mean in the administration, who men who are supportive of their rulership. So this is a listing of those kind of men who were supportive to Solomon in his rulership. Read on.
Verse 4. And Benaiah, the son of Jehodiah, was over the host, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests.
And Zadok and Abiathar were the priests. So these are two of the priests. Remember when David was old and sickly and about to die, one of his sons tried to usurp authority and got men of I thought men who were of prominence in Israel to go with him, to try to anoint him to be king. But these two men, Zadok and Abiathar, these are men who were from David's administration, who did not go with that son. But they say loyal to David, and now they are part of Solomon's administration. Zadok and Abiathar. Read on.
Verse 5. And Azariah, the son of Nathan, was over the officers, and Zabud, the son of Nathan, was principal officer, and the king's friend. And Ahashar was over the household, and Abdoniram, the son of Abda, was over the tribute. And Solomon had 12 officers over Israel, which provided victuals.
Read verse 7 again.
Verse 7. And Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel.
All Israel, right? 12 officers over all Israel. So you can pursue that, over all the 12 tribes of Israel. Read on.
Which provided victuals for the king and his household.
Which provided victuals. What's victuals? Yes, food. You're right. Right, because the king and his administration, they need they got to eat. Because the Moses said that to all Israel when Israel wanted to transition from a governance of judges to one of kings. That the kings is gonna want. He's going to want your women. He's going to want your daughters. He's going to want your food, all that. Are you ready for that? He's going to want certain time that you have to provide for the kings. And this is what we got right now. That 12, read verse 7 again.
Verse 7. And Solomon had 12 officers over Israel, which provided victuals for the king and his household.
Which provided victuals. So these officers provided victuals. They provided food for the kings. Where did food come from? From various people through the territories of Israel. Just like the Moses told them. And they had to do it. Read on.
Each man his month in a year made provisions.
Right, each man his month in a year made provisions. So each man, these 12 men, you have 12 months per year, right? So each one man, this is a month, bro. You gotta feed the king and his people this month. I don't care how you do it. I don't care you gotta get the food from that person. Whatever the king needs, whatever you anticipate the king needs, you have to provide it.
Right.
And if you fail, if you look bad, it's going to be to your detriment. Not necessarily to your death, but you're going to look bad. So right. That's your responsibility. These 12 men were assigned each month where they have to provide for the king and his people for that month. Read on.
Verse 8. And these are the names: the son of Hur in Mount Ephraim, the son of Dakar in Makaz, and in Shaalbim, and Beth Shemeth, and Elam Beth Hanan. Verse 10. The son of Heshed in Aruboth, to him pertained Sokoth, and all the land of Hefer, the son of Abinadab, and all the region of Dor, which had Taphath, the daughter of Solomon, to wife. Baana, the son of Ale.
Well, he was lucky. Yeah, Solomon's daughter to wife. Wow. I don't know, maybe Solomon gave him a break. I don't know. Right. Or maybe Solomon did good. You're my son-in-law. You got to provide me twice this month. I don't know what the case was, but at least you got Solomon's daughter to wife. I read on.
Verse 12. Baana, the son of Ahilud, to pertain to Anak, and Megiddo, and all Beth Shean, which is by Zartana, beneath Jezreel, from Beth Shean to Abel Meholah, even unto the place that is beyond Jokneam. Verse 13. The son of Jeber in Ramoth Gilead, to him pertained the town of Jair, the son of Manasseh, which are in Gilead. To him also pertained the region of Argob, which is in Bashan, 80 great city with walls and brassen bars. Verse 14. Nadab, the son of Iddo, had Mahanaim. Ahimaaz was in Naphtali. He also took Bashmath, the daughter to Solomon to wife.
Wow. So for your 2 lucky dudes. Yeah, 2 dudes that 2 son of daughters. Maybe they were unfortunate. I don't know. No, maybe they were. Yeah. Maybe more required of them. Being Solomon's son and sons-in-law, you know.
Verse 16. Baana, the son of Hushai, was in Asher and in Aloth. Jehoshaphat.
Solomon was an old man. Solomon was a grown man now. He had grown daughters who were the wives of other men. So Solomon was a grown man at this point. But David was still like 70 years old when he died. He reigned for 40 years, David. Just like Saul did. Saul also reigned for 40 years. So David reigned for 40 years. Solomon was a grown man at this point. All right, you know.
Verse 17. Jehoshaphat, the son of Paruah in Issachar. Shimei, the son of Elah in Benjamin. Geber, the son of Uri was in the country of Gilead, and in the country of Shihon, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan, and he was the only officer which was in the land. Judah and Israel were many, and as the sand which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry.
Right. Judah and Benjamin wasn't many. Judah and Benjamin were many, as the sand which is by the sea in multitude, you know. A lot of us, we were in prominence because David, there was no nation that was son of David. All nations that bowed unto David, man. David gave Solomon a kingdom rulership, prominence. All nations were subdued before David. You know what I'm saying? Judah and Israel were many, as the sand which is by the sea, in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. So having a good time, celebrating. Because what? They were rulership. All nations were in subjection to them, paying tribute to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because David made sure of that.
Right.
David as a mighty man, and they dominated. The Philistines, all the other nations bowed down to David. The Edomites, all of them bowed down to Israel. You know what I'm saying? So David get Solomon. What does Solomon mean? The name Solomon. What does it mean? It means peace. Peace. You know what I'm saying? So that the Most High are here. So Solomon was ruling in a time of peace. At least he got a kingdom in a time of peace. Because all the nations were subdued under David. So the only turmoil that David had was from within Israel, from people who wanted to rule after him, within his own. The Most High told him that anyway, because of what they did. So the only child that David had was from within his own family, from within Israel. Understand? People who wanted to succeed after David, his sons, Absalom. Because the Moses had chosen Solomon to be the successor after David, but his sons didn't see that way. You know.
Verse 21. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms, from the river unto the land of the Philistines, and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life.
Right, see that? Solomon reigned over all of Israel. He reigned over all the 12 tribes of Israel. Read on.
And Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour and 60 measures of meal, 10 fat oxen and 20 oxen out of the pastures, and 100 sheep, besides harts and roebucks and fallow deer and fatter fowl. For he had dominion over all the region on this side the river, from Tip.
Can you get me like a split screen like of Israel, show like a river Jordan dividing the east from the west, to show that I'm supposed to know that on the east side of the river Jordan you had Manasseh, Reuben, no tribes. But of course, Solomon ruled over all those territories anyway. Because all those territories were all of David. Yeah, let me see that. That's good. East Manasseh, yeah, Manasseh. Yeah, Reuben, fine. That's good. Go back to
Go back to the map.
yeah, go to the map. Yeah, go back to the line.
Okay.
But still keep this up.
Yeah, just keep it there. Just in case we need to reference it. Yeah. Where were you? Verse
24.
24? Okay.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 4 and verse 24. For he had dominion over all the region on this side the river, from Tifsa.
From this side of the river, read on.
From Tifsa even to Azza, over all the kings on this side the river, and he had peace on all sides round about him.
Read on.
Verse 25. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely under every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon.
Yeah, why did it say Judah and Benjamin? Because before Judah started ruling, Benjamin was ruling now on the sword, right? But because of Saul's disobedience, the Mosai took the kingdom from him, from his successor, from his son, and gave it to Judah, which was David. And now David's son Solomon was in rulership. So Judah and Benjamin are together. It's all right. Go back. Yes.
The other one?
Yes. Okay. Go back to Dorian Mills. What you had before? Verse 25.
25. Verse 25. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree.
Right. They dwelt safely. That's the key. How were they able to dwell safely? Because all nations in the region were subdued. Subdued by the by the militancy of David and his mighty men, the army of Israel. Read on. From Dan even to Beersheba.
From Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon.
All the days of Solomon. So there wasn't really a warfare coming against Solomon because what? They were Israel at this time was a superpower in the region. Understand? You have a Solomon. Read on.
And Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. And those officers provided victual for the king, Solomon. And for all that came unto King Solomon's table, every man in his month, they lacked nothing.
Right, and they all take the responsibility, all make the quote, so to speak. Read on.
Barley also and straw for the horses and dromedaries brought they unto the place where the officers were, every man according to his charge. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt.
Right. So Solomon's wisdom exceeded all the wisdom of the east countries and all the wisdom of Egypt. Remember back in the days when in time of Moses and Aaron, when Moses and Aaron were contending with Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's magicians, mighty men and all that, or every time that Moses was turning his staff and all that, the magicians, Pharaoh's magician would basically match them. So you know that they had some wisdom. But their wisdom didn't come from the Most High. And remember that Aaron's staff was sort of the staff of the Egyptians. Show that our wisdom exceeded theirs. Same right here. The Most High telling us that Solomon's wisdom exceeded the wisdom of the Egyptians and the men of the East. So we're not saying that these men didn't have any kind of intelligence or wisdom or knowledge. Understand? Because remember that Israel was the last nation to be formed on earth. Give me Genesis 15:13. Keep in mind that before we were even a nation, before our grandfather Abraham even as a child, these different nations were in prominence. They had a civilization. So we're not saying that he ain't got nothing. Because today, a lot of people they like to refer back not to our prominence, not to our rulership. They like to refer back to Kemet, the Egyptians, Ethiopians, other nations before Israel. We're not saying that there were not other civilizations before us. There were. But they were not of the Most High. They were not chosen of the Most High. And all those civilizations came to what? Came to naught. Understand? Do that.
Genesis
15:13.
chapter 15 and verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a certainty that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
That's what the Most High said to Abraham. Know of a certainty that your seed shall be a servant in a strange land that is not theirs. Read it again.
Genesis chapter 15 verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a certainty that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
Your seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not yours. What does it mean a stranger? You know, that's not your land. You're not from there. That's not your territory. Understand? You were born there. You just sojourning there. Read on.
And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
And shall serve them, and we serve the Egyptians, and they afflicted us 400 years. What I'm saying is that before we went into Egypt, the Egyptians, they had a civilization. We're not denying that. The Ethiopians or the Cushites, they had a civilization. We're not denying that.
Unplug. Come move in another, move over. Right there.
Okay, okay. So these different nations, they had civilizations before us. They had empires before us. But so what? Remember that also, when we came out of Egypt, the Moses said, well, we'll go to a land. The Moses even told Abraham that I am. Read on. This is what the Moses said to Abraham.
Verse 14. Mm-hmm. And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will I judge.
Well, now why would the Moses judge that nation? The Moses judged that nation because what? The so-called civilization that they had was what? Was off. Was contrary to the Moses' laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why the Moses judged them. They were not righteous. Read on.
And afterward.
Look today. Does America have a civilization today? Sure they do. Is it righteous? It's not righteous. But anybody, if you ask anybody, will say what? This is the greatest country on earth. Why is it the greatest country on earth? Because they're making money. Our economics and all that. Certain things which have got nothing to do with righteousness. The same thing happened. The same thing was the case back in Egypt. There was a prominent civilization, but what? The Moses said he's going to judge them. Now, why would the Moses judge a nation if they were righteous? They were not righteous. They might have been prosperous as far as economies went, but as far as the righteousness, as far as morality, they were totally in contradiction to what the Moses established to be righteous. Read on.
Verse 14. Mm-hmm. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, mm-hmm. and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
And afterward will they come out with great substance. Riches, wealth, prosperity. Read on.
Verse 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
Right. That's what the Most told Abraham concerning his seed, which was us. How we should serve a nation which were the Egyptians, where we were strangers for 400 years. But the Most would judge them, and then we would leave with great substance. That's going to be the case in America in this time. Not just America, but everywhere where we're in captivity. Moses is going to judge them, and we're going to leave with great substance. Because right now we get that Revelation 18, Revelation 11.
For what you looking for?
The second Egypt.
18 and 4?
No,
come out of there?
Revelation 11.
11?
Revelation 11. I think it's 11 and 8.
when it's saying come out of her, and their body shall lay waste. It's 11 and 8. And it's called Sodom and Egypt.
Right. Got it.
That's 11 and 8.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
The dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. That's America right here. Spiritually is called Sodom. Is America spiritually Sodom? There's nothing going on in Sodom and Gomorrah that's not going on in America. As a matter of fact, what's going on in America today exceeded what went on in Sodom and Gomorrah back in the days. Because America is seeking sodomy, homosexuality to a higher level than it was back in the days in actual Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, spiritually, not actually, not literally. It's called spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah because Sodom and Egypt were two different places, geographically speaking, right? But spiritually speaking, the Most High is saying what? This place right there is what? Spiritually the same as Sodom and as Egypt. In one aspect, it's spiritually the same as Sodom because what? Of this, the sodomy, homosexuality that's going on in America right now, that's exceeded what went on in the actual Sodom and Gomorrah back in the days. And actually, it's spiritually called Egypt because what? The captivity, the hardship, the bondage, and what people went through and are going through in these days. That we went through back in Egypt. That's what that's talking about. Let's go back to where are you?
First Kings?
Go back to First Kings.
Okay. This is the book of First Kings, chapter 4 and verse 31. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, the Ezrahite, and
What verse are
Heman.
you in?
31, 4 and 31.
Okay. Yeah.
For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, the Ezrahite, and Heman, the Calcol, and Darda, the sons of Mahol, and his fame was in all nations round about. And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. And he spake of...
So Solomon, so they were comparing Solomon to other men of renown. Other men who was, men of a famous man, men of prominence, men of, who had certain reputation through the generation. And he spake 3,000 proverbs. What's a proverb? It's like a wise saying that someone probably some wise saying that when someone say it, you can relate to it. You can compare to certain things that you can say, okay. So that's what that's talking about. 3,000 of them. So when someone speaks on certain things they put it in a certain context, so you can better understand what they're really saying. Other than to if they tell it to you literally, you didn't get it. But if they say it to a certain context, then okay, that's what you're saying. You're talking about. So Solomon spoke of 3,000 proverbs.
Verse 33. And he spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts, and of fowl, and of creeping things, and of fishes.
Solomon could relate to everything in nature. He speak of trees. He could make metaphors and similes out of all these. Just like so-called rappers or artists today. They can make up lyrics to relate certain things to Solomon was up on that during this time. He spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even onto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts and the fowl and the creeping things and the fishes. So he knew all that, you know.
Verse 34. And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon from all kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom. Chapter 5. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the room of his father. For Hiram was ever a lover of David. And
right. So, all nations of people heard of Solomon's greatness and his wisdom. Plus, there were other men who admired David. Go ahead, brother.
The people of Tyre, they were people of color, or they were Jews?
They were people of color, but just because of people of color doesn't mean they're Israelite.
That's right.
Understand? People of Tyre and Zidon, they were actually Hamites. Understand? But they were in close proximity to Israel. And we traded with them. We did business with them.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? And we also got certain supplies from them, trees and all that we needed. I'm saying, but and they admired it because there were certain nations that see, during David's time, you have different kind of people came against David. Just like going forward in Armageddon, you gotta be like two main categories of people that we have to deal with. Some are gonna come willingly.
Mm-hmm.
See, those are the men of the Most High. Those are the people of the Most High. Let's go up. Give me Isaiah 40 now.
And 21?
No, 14 and 1.
14 and 1?
Yeah. And then give me us 4 and 1.
Okay.
There gotta be certain people who come willingly. There's gonna be some of them who's resist the rulership. Back in David's time, he had to fight against some of these nations. But some said, let's change. David's a man. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make peace with David. He's cool, good brother. Just give me a little something, you know what I'm saying, now and then. I'll be alright. We be alright. Just like you tell me Joshua, with a nation that came from that was nearby, and pretended to come from far country with the old clothes, stale food, and all that, wear those shoes and all that, pretending that they come far. Some said they knew that those two harlots. When Joshua sent those men to spy the land, they know. Just like in these days, you're going to see the Edomites, other nations, they know we are the real Jews, we're the Hebrew Israelites. We are the chosen people of the Most High. And they're going to come willingly and try to make friends with us. And the others know also, but instead of trying to come willingly and make friends with us, they're going to try and find us anyway. So you're going to have different categories of people. Look up from way back then to this day and going forward. Read on.
Isaiah 14.
Isaiah 14:1.
Isaiah chapter 14. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob.
See, the Most High will have mercy on Jacob, which we are, despite of our transgressions and our evil deeds and our wickedness. The Most High is going to have mercy on us anyway, because of the covenant that He made with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Read on.
And will yet choose Israel.
And will yet choose Israel, despite our wickedness, our transgressions, our hard-headedness. The Most High will yet choose us as a nation. That's not going to say He's going to choose any specific person. Don't assume that the Most High is going to choose you. Understand? As an individual. Just know He's going to choose a nation. Who of the nation is going to choose? That's His choice. So as individuals, don't assume that you, just because you're going to choose a nation, that you specifically is going to be chosen. You as an individual have to work out your own soul salvation with the Most High. Develop your own relationship with the Most High. Be repentant and obedient to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments to make your election sure. Don't go up on an assumption that you are in the 1/3. Understand? Read on.
And set them in their own land.
Yeah, the Most High chose us anyway as a nation and set us in our own land. This right here in America is not our rest. This is not our land, even though the land was originally occupied by the Gadites and the northern tribes. But it's not a land that the Most High chose as our so-called headquarters. Read on.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
And the strangers, people of other nations, other nationalities, are going to be joined with us. Just as the strangers were joined with us when we came out of Egypt with Moses and Aaron. They're going to be joined with us again. Read on.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
They're going to cleave to us. Right now, ain't nobody cleaving to us. Right now, everybody's chastising us, murdering us, humiliating us, discriminating against us, killing us. Read on.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
And the people, those people, and the people, the people. The Israelites shall take who? Them. Now the nation will take them to their place. Read on.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids.
Right. They're going to cleave to us first and foremost. Understand? Those are the ones who are going to come willingly. Those are the Egyptians cleave to us. When they saw the Most High working all these miracles and plaguing the Egyptians with all those plagues, they said, this is going to be people of the Most High. We got to be on their side. So these nations, these strangers in this time, are going to do the same thing. They're going to cleave to us. And we're going to take them to their place and possess them. Give me Micah 4:1.
You don't want Amos? You said something about Amos.
Micah 4:1.
Micah 4:1. This is the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 1. But in the last days it shall come
In the last
to
days,
pass
the actual last days, you know,
that the mountain of the house of the Most High shall be established in the top of the mountains.
the mountain of the house of the Most High. What is the mountain of the house of the Most High? The government, the rulership. Read it again now.
Micah chapter 4 and verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass
But in the last days it shall come to pass It hasn't happened yet. No, it's not happened yet. I mean, right now we're still in bondage. Our mountain, we didn't even know what a mountain is. Our people don't even know who they are. So let's talk about going forward. Read on.
That the mountain of the house of the Most High shall be established.
That the mountain, and the word mountain means what? The mountains are elevated. Our mountains are what? Elevated above everything else. The mountain, which is the government of the house of Israel, shall be established. Read it again.
Micah chapter 4. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Most High shall be established in the top of the mountains.
That the government of the house of Israel shall be established above the government of the other nations. So that there shall be no doubt as to who's in charge or who's in rulership. The Most High is going to elevate us to a position where what? It's clear that what? We are in charge. Just like it was clear back in the time of Moses and Aaron that we were in charge. Go ahead, brother. Hold on. We gotta read that.
Okay. And it shall be exalted above the hills.
It shall be exalted. When something is exalted, what does it mean? Lifted up above the hills. Read on.
And people shall flow unto it.
And people shall flow unto it. It's not talking about us as our people. It's talking about other people. It is read in Isaiah 14. Read on.
And many nations shall come.
And many nations shall come. Read on.
And say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High.
That's what they're going to say. That's what the nations are going to say. At least some of them. Many nations, it didn't say all nations though. It said many. It didn't say all nations because some got to be stubborn as that.
Okay.
Read on. That's why there's going to be Armageddon. For the ones who are stubborn. Read on.
And let us go up to the mountain of the Most High and to the house of the God of Jacob.
Right. That's what many nations are going to say. Come, let's go up to the mountain of the Most High and to the power of Jacob, the God of Jacob. Yeah, they're going to know. They're going to see what Jacob's going to be at the lever. Read on. Like that.
And he will teach us of his ways.
And he, the Israelites, shall teach us, the nations, of the Most High's ways. Because they're not going to get that knowledge from amongst their own.
All right.
And the Most High is not going to be with them. Understand that? They're not going to get it from their own people. The only place they're going to get it from is from us, the Hebrew Israelites. They're going to see the miracles, the plagues, the wonders of the Most High that is working through the Hebrew Israelites, through the four corners of this earth. And when they see where the power is at, that's who they're going to cleave to, which is us, the Hebrew Israelites. Because they're not going to get it from their own people. Read on.
And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths.
That's what they say. We walk in his path. Read on.
For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem.
For the law. Oh. So the law was done away with. So why was it going to be have to be established? Why does if the law was done away with? Why does it have to be established? Why does the heathen, the strangers, gotta want to learn the laws? That's gonna be that's the only way they're gonna be saved. And of course, their salvation is a different salvation from our salvation. His salvation is to serve us. Read on.
Verse 3. And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off.
Right. That's Israel right there. Yeah, that's it.
I was just going to say, in verse 1, it said, shall be exalted above the hills. He appeared in other nations like hills, the mountain.
Well, yeah. No, yeah. About the mountains and hills, and I'm saying this is the same thing. We're gonna be metaphorically speaking, we're gonna be exalted, or rulership or dominance is gonna far exceed theirs. Now, no one is gonna question or rulership. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna question, but because right now, very few countries that are questioning the rulership of America. They just go with the flow. They got military power, but when the Most High give us that superpower, all nations are gonna flow unto us because we're gonna be exalted above the mountains and the hills. Our rulership is gonna be far exceedingly above theirs. There's gonna be no doubt that we are the people of the Most High. Just that there was no doubt that we were the people of the Most High at the time of Moses and Aaron. Same thing has happened again. Go back to Kings.
Kings. Verse 30. No, we have chapter 5.
Yeah, chapter 5.
Chapter 5. And Hiram.
You didn't finish one chapter?
Yeah, we only finished one.
Go on.
And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the room of his father.
Hiram, king of Tyre. This is the one king in Israel. So Hiram, king of Tyre, that's a different nation. Tyre is read on. He sent his servants unto Solomon, read on.
For Hiram was ever a lover of David. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how that David my father could not build an house unto the name of the Most High his power, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Most High put them under the soles of his feet.
Right. Hold on. Give me the 2 Samuel 7. What the scripture that said the Most High David wanted to build a house in the Most High, but David shed so much blood that the Most High said, no, nah. Now you didn't do it, David. Your son Solomon should do it.
I think it's around 7 and 12.
Yeah, 2 Samuel 7, 12 and 13, somewhere around there.
12 and 13.
Yeah, 2 Samuel, yeah.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 7 and verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers.
What verse is that?
That's 12. 13 says, he shall build.
Sorry, read 12 again.
Verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee.
That's the Most High talking to David. Start from 11. Start from verse 11.
Verse 11?
Yeah.
Verse 11. And as since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thine enemies. Mm-hmm. Also the Most High telleth thee that he will make thee an house. Verse 12.
Right, that's the Most High talking to David. Yeah.
I think so. First Chronicles 28.
First Chronicles
28.
read it first and then we get that.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers.
Will that days be fulfilled in what? When you grow old and you die? Okay, read on.
I will set up thy seed after thee.
I will set up thy seed after you,
which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom.
Right. I will set up thy seed after you, which shall proceed out of your bowels. You know what? You come from your lineage, from your bloodline, your seed line. a descendant of yours. Read on.
Verse 13, he shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
He shall build a house in my name, and I shall establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Read on. Come on.
They're just saying he'll chasten him if he go into any iniquity.
Right. So David wanted to build a house in the Most High. I was looking for one scripture that David said specifically that he wanted to do it. Most High said there was blood in his hand. But that would suffice. So David wanted to build a house in the Most High. The Most High said, there's too much blood in your hand. Your son after you shall build that house.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second. That was second.
You said First Chronicles, I think.
Chronicles
20?
28 and 3.
28 and 3.
First Chronicles 28 and 3.
David building the altar. David put Proverbs 28. But I said,
First Chronicles 20 what?
20 and 3.
28.
28 and 3.
Yeah, it's the precept.
Oh, let me get that. That's what it says.
For all my sons.
Right, this is one here. Actually, we're gonna go further. Let's go much further. Start from verse 2. First Chronicles 28, verse 2.
First Chronicles chapter 28 and verse 2. Then David the king stood up upon his feet and said, hear me, my brethren, and my people. As for me, I had in mine heart to build an house of rest for the ark of the covenant of the Most High, and for the footstool of our power. And he made ready for the building. But the Most High said unto me, thou shalt not build an house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war, and hast shed blood.
Right. So David had it in heart to build a tabernacle, to host the Ark of the Covenant. But the Most High said, well, you got David here. Now, I appreciate little David now, you know what I mean? But you shed so much blood. Even though it was the Most High who trained David's hands to war. David thanked the Most High for that. And the Most High even said, yo, David, you are a man of my own heart. But the Most High said, I want you to be on the tabernacle for me. Your son after you can do that. Read on.
Verse 4. Howbeit, the Most High power of Israel chose me before all the kings of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he hath chosen Judah to be the ruler, and of the house of Judah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father.
Read verse 3. I think this verse 3. Read verse 3 again.
Verse 3. But the Most High said unto me, thou shalt not build an house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war and hast shed blood. Howbeit, the Most High power of Israel chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he hath chosen Judah to be the ruler, and of the house of Judah, the house of my father.
Right. So the Most High said, David wanted to build a house for the Most High, the tabernacle. But the Most High said, no, you'll shed too much blood, so but instead I'm going to choose a son, Solomon, after you to do that. What you got, Brian?
First Chronicles 22 and 8.
22 and 8? Let's read that.
They ain't getting on him again.
You got it?
Kahaan. This is the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 22 and verse 8. But the word of the Most High came to me, saying, Thou hast shed blood abundantly, and hast made great wars. Thou shalt not build an house unto my name, because thou hast shed much blood upon the earth in my sight. Read on. Verse 9. Behold, a son shall be born to thee, who shall be a man of rest, and I will give him rest from all his enemies round about. For his name shall be Solomon, and I will give peace and quietness unto Israel in his days.
Right, see that? So David, yes, real scripture. So the Most High, so David wanted to build a house unto the Most High said, no, you're going to build a house unto me because you shed too much blood. But it's going to be a son that's born from you. Behold, a son shall be born to thee, who shall be a man of rest, to Solomon. And I will give him rest from all his enemies, because that's why Solomon, in Solomon's days, there was a war.
Straight war.
The Most High is a man of his word. For his name shall be what Solomon was about. Peace. Peaceably. I'm saying? And I will give peace and quietness unto Israel in his days. So there was no war in Israel within 40 years' time when Solomon was a ruler. Because the Most High said it. He promised that to David and he kept his word. Read verse 10.
Verse 10. He shall build an house for my name.
See that? Solomon shall build a house for the Most High's name, not David, but David shed too much blood. Read on.
And he shall be my son, and I will be his father, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Israel forever.
Right. And I will establish the throne over Israel forever. Right. So the Most High told David, yeah, I appreciate the look. You wanted to build the temple to host the Ark of the Covenant, but because you shed so much blood in Israel over the nations, and because I want to establish peace, I'm going to have it done. By your seed, not by you personally, but from your lineage, which is Solomon. Because Solomon was the one the Most High designated to build a temple. Read on. I'll go back to First Kings. Yeah.
1 Kings chapter 5 and verse 3. And thou knowest how that David my father could not build an house unto the name of the Most High his power, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Most High put them under the soles of his feet. But now the Most High my power hath given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor evil occurrence. And behold, I propose. Verse 5. And behold, I purpose to build an house unto the name of the Most High my power, as the Most High spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build an house unto my name. Now therefore command thou that they hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thy servants. And unto thee I will give hire for thy servants according to all that thou shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us any that can kill to hew timber like
that can skill.
Okay. For thou knowest that there is not among us that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians.
Right. So this is Solomon talking to King Hiram, king of Tyre. They didn't know what I yelled. David wanted to build out the temple to the Most High, but the Most High said no, because he shed too much blood, because the warfare was going around him. But now the Most High gave me peace, and the Most High wants me to build a temple. And in order for me to build a temple, I'm going to need all this, like the timber and lumber and all that from you, in Lebanon. So in Tyre and Sidon. So Because you guys got the skill to do that. So I'm going to need your expertise to help me in this matter. That's what Yakina. Gonna go to Camp? 10 o'clock? Okay, so we got another 5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna wrap up this chapter right here. Read on.
Verse 6. I'm at verse 7. And it came to pass, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly and said, Blessed be the Most High this day, which hath given unto David a wise son over this great people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou sentest to me for, and I will do all thy desire concerning timber of cedar and concerning timber of fir. My servant shall bring them down from Lebanon unto the sea, and I will convey them by sea in floats unto the place that thou shalt appoint me, and will cause them to be discharged there, and thou shalt receive them. And thou
Lebanon was a neighboring city, part of Tyre and Sidon, a neighboring city of Israel as we knew it back in the days. Read on.
And thou shalt accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. Verse 10. So Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year.
Right, so Solomon paid for the lumber and timber and all that from Lebanon. He gave him measures of wheat, 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Those gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. So we didn't exploit our friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we didn't exploit our friends. The ones who resisted us, those who subdued and did harshly with, just like David did. But the ones who came willingly and cooperated, we did them fairly. Because Solomon could have subdued this guy, Hiram, but said, you know what? He came willingly. We're going to deal with them peaceably. Solomon came what? 20,000 measures of wheat. And oil year by year. So, you know what I mean? So Solomon paid for the timber and lumber from Lebanon. Read on.
Verse 12. And the Most High gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon. And they two made a league together. And King Solomon raised a levy out of all Israel. And the levy was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by course. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home. And Adoram was over the levy. And Solomon had 70,000 that bear burdens, and 80,000 hewers in the mountains, beside the chief of Solomon's officers, which were over the work, 3,300, which ruled over the people that wrought in the work. And the king commanded, and they brought great stones, costly stones, and hewed stones, to lay the foundation of the house.
And the king commanded, and they brought great stones.
Okay.
And great stones, costly stones. What stones are those? Marble,
Shiny.
marble stones,
Yeah, them shiny
granite.
ones. Them shiny ones.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the shiny stones.
Yeah.
So we don't have names for those stones. But they were very expensive stones. And viewed Stone. He was stone, you know, stone you cut.
Yeah, they cut.
Cut the
Mhm.
stones. So we had our technology from way back when to lay the foundation of the house.
Just for the foundation.
Yeah. So. Right. Yeah. Read on.
Verse 18. And Solomon's builders and Hiram builders did hew them, and the stone quarters. So they prepared timber and stones to build the house.
Right. So the house will be the foundation, the pillars. There are pillars of stones, solid stone. You know, hurricane and a storm or tempest and blow those houses down. So that was end of chapter 5. So we did go ahead.
When it said on bear burdens, does that mean that because they were going city to city, bearing the burdens?
Well, be a burden is manual labor.
Okay.
It's manual labor, so you know you have to do some heavy lifting. Those stones were like that. That was the paper.
They said great
Great
stones.
stones out. And the timber and all that, the lumber. Yeah. I didn't think you had machines back in the days. So that's a burden, sir. So that's what that was. Doesn't mean that they were in captivity. Those now they did that, at least they were organized about it, but at least but stones are heavy, timbers are heavy, so yeah.
I was watching the History Channel a while back. They were talking about how the pyramids were built,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Esau saying that was aliens that did it. That's why they're so perfect because they can't recreate it. That
Aliens.
did it.
They don't want to admit
That's
the
in,
children.
Esau. When Esau knew it none, Esau knew that he didn't build nothing.
Yeah. So,
Esau knew that he didn't build nothing.
It's on ancient.
And since he didn't build nothing, he didn't want to give nobody else the credit.
Yeah, and it's, the hieroglyph said that.
So,
he don't want to say the Israelite slaves was
you know what I'm
there.
saying? You know what I admit that there were people who just were smarter than him.
Right.
That's what it was. He said knew that he didn't, because people waking up and people knew that the ancient Egyptians were dark people. There were no so-called white people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that eliminated them. They were under contention. They didn't mean nothing because they weren't around at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And because they weren't around, who did it? The Egyptians, no? Aliens. That's Esau, man. Refusing to give credit to other people.
Right.
All he tried to put himself as the ultimate, the wisest, the smartest, the most intelligent. That's all that was, you know.
I got something else to remember. On the show again, Ancient Aliens,
Mm-hmm.
they're talking about aliens back during the time of Egypt.
Okay.
But during that the Most High had his chariots flying around.
Mm-hmm.
They do talk about during ancient Egypt and the lands during that time.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of flying saucers that were around, chariots. You know, that's today.
Oh.
So that's hit me just now. So
Hmm.
they're talking about.
Don't believe everything Esau tell you.
Oh.
Please don't believe everything Esau tells you.
10 p.m. Eastern. The brothers are getting ready for camp. We're going to feed the streets. Edify the people in the streets.
Kind.
The Most High willing tomorrow at 11 a.m. we're going to have a Hebrew class. Then we have the Shabbat service at 12 noon p.m. So to water about Shema Shai for all Israelites logging on live stream. Don't forget tomorrow we log on again. The Sabbath service about Shema Shai.
Oh yeah.
And Madi Wapanya, the Russian standard face Jerusalem. Psalms 133. Shayar, Hama Alwa, Ladawar, Ana, Tawab, Wama, Hayam, Shabbat, Akyam, Gam,
Yakad,
Ashaman,
Ashaman,
Atawa,
Atawa, Araash,
Yarad,
Azakwan,
Zakwan, Aharan, Shayarad, Paya,
Karawatwa, Kato, Karamwan, Shayarad, Araria, Kazawan, Kaya, Sham, Tazawa, Yahweh, Arabakad, Kayawam, Ayalam, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahushua, the water, Aman. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High commanded the blessings, even life forevermore. Bahashim, Hamashiach Yahushai, the water, Yad, Aman. Hallelujah. Give Most High a hand.
Shalom Yasharala, Basham Mashkau Shai, Torah again, belonging in. Basham Mashkau